all of you. What is that? The fucking bone's thicker than the meat. What is that? We fucking wasted the most expensive part. What is going on? Are you fucking blind?
No, sir.
Look at this. Look. 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 What the fuck is this? I've had enough. Enough. I still haven't got a lamb out from the red team.
Yes, sir.
Now it's turning into being a fucking big embarrassment.
Sure.
It's not good enough. Get out. You're not good enough. Just what the fuck are you doing? Fucking useless.
Sorry, Chef.
Yeah, do me a favour.
Yes, Chef.
Take that off and fuck off out of it. Get out. Hey, you. Leave the jacket and get out. Get out. Give me the jacket. Give me the fucking jacket. Fucking useless sack of shit. Get out. Get out.
Looks like we're gonna need a lot more of this where we're headed.
It's gonna be a long year.
Thought we couldn't get any worse than we already were, Dad, but sadly, I was proven wrong. 49-0. 49-0. Are you? Did this happen?
It's worse, Brett.
Is this real life?
It's
Dad?
worse.
I'm having friends roasting me on Facebook. People are poking fun at me right now on Facebook. Ryan is telling me that Venables is not going to last a year. I think he's overreacting, but I'm mad that Ryan was right because he was telling me we were going to get blown out by Texas. But 49-0? I don't even like 49. And we lost to Sarkisian out of all people too. So there you go. I don't have a very high opinion of him as a head coach anyway. But damn it, they played the game of their lives against us.
Seems like most teams are doing that these days.
They're kicking us while we're down, I think is the best way to put it, because we're already in a bad spot.
They better hurry up and do it now, because I still feel like we're going to come back here. Maybe not this season, but I think we'll be back in short order.
I really hope so, because this is very... I'm worried. I'll put it that way. But, I guess it's just not our year right now.
Definitely not our year.
Three losses in a row. That stings, man. Like, I was angry. I mean, Mom was recording me, so I'm sure I'll have her send me some clips and I'll show you of me throwing a tantrum at this awful performance.
Hey, Britt.
What?
How you feeling?
Last time Oklahoma shut out in any game, go by 1998 against.
Should have kicked the field goal. I'm not feeling good.
Farouk! Get out there, Farouk! Yeah!
There we go. I wear a bag over my head after this.
Here's the fire because I think he's still making a lot of money, probably more than anybody else in the whole league.
Go over there by Dad.
She knows Becky. You know Becky.
Oakley.
Oh man, you thought I was livid last week. Oh,
The podcast could be great this week.
oh my gosh. It might be our best episode yet, Dad.
Stay silent, letting this roll.
I might have outraged you, Dad.
What happened?
Todd says he's going to be quiet. Okay.
If I remember right, worst performance OU has had in a long time. I think it's historic.
Well, let me talk about it. So we lost 3 straight games. That's the first time that's happened since 1998. That's John Blake era. That's the black days of OU football. Lost back-to-back games by 30-plus points for the first time ever in the same season. That's ever. That's 100 and something years.
Oh my God.
Allowed the most points ever to Texas and worst margin of loss ever versus Texas.
They gave us our 63-14. That's for sure.
They did.
I don't even like the number 49.
And we snapped a 311 game streak of at least scoring some points. 300. That's 30 years, Brett.
Damn. Really?
We've fallen off a cliff here.
Oh my gosh! I mean, I knew we were gonna struggle. Like I said last week, there are some of the more cynical OU fans on Twitter calling people who are trying to give everyone the benefit of the doubt here, the sunshine pumpers. I am not an idiot. I knew there was going to be struggle, but this is just jeez.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was going to be this bad. I really didn't.
I didn't realize it was going to be like this adverse. I was expecting some hard games. Now I wasn't expecting 2,000 to Oklahoma Sooners, but
Right.
I was at least expecting like 99 Sooners or 2020 Sooners. This is like, and I get it, we're in the rebuild, but 49-0? Seriously?
It's unacceptable.
That is not the standard. I can tell you that right now.
Had our friend saying we should have kicked the field goal early on. I think it was 4th and 1 or 2. Should have kicked the field goal. I said, nah, we got to score touchdowns. I wish we'd have kicked the field goal.
Yeah.
I wish we would have kicked the field goal.
I kind of like the aggressive play calling in the beginning. I'm like, okay, we're looking like we're coming to play. And then it just went downhill from there.
Yeah.
It looked like a clown show.
Yeah.
I'm in the bluntest way possible. And that hurts to say, because I'm really pulling for this Brent Venables thing. Like, this is an OU guy, This is a guy who's vied for this job,
Yeah.
I don't want to give up on him just yet. But he is facing some adversity. And I'm trying to stick by him, and it is proving very difficult at the moment.
It is tough. It is tough, and I know that you gave me a little bit of grief during the game.
You looked like you were neutered. You were just like sitting there, just like, just end it now, I thought you would be more angry, really. That's what the point was.
I just couldn't throw a fit over it. There's no sense in me getting my blood pressure worked up when it's just no sense in it. So, yeah, initial thoughts of the game, just, horrible, just overmatched. You come in, we don't have a backup quarterback. That's unacceptable. I mean,
Bevel sucked.
Yeah, I understand we lost Superman Williams and we lost Rattler, so those are two,
talented dudes.
With
their shortcomings.
5-star guys. You lose both of them in the same transfer portal year. You have to go out there and scrap heap. UCF quarterback Gabriel, he's okay, but third team Pitt quarterback Bevel, just horrible. Has no skills.
Poor guy.
He's
getting beaten up out there.
Probably better than me at quarterback, but not much,
At least try to get some play. Dude is just not. I don't think he's that good. And I'm not a quarterback. I've played, a little bit, but, I'm not a quarterback. I don't know how to play, but I could tell you right now I could probably play with more heart, and I can't think of the word at the moment, Dad. It was like I was actually thinking of giving myself a challenge of putting like Gordon Ramsay just roasting people while the OU Texas game this year is just playing. Just a complete reverse of last year, which was an amazing game.
Right.
Or, well, at least for us. I think most people would acknowledge it was a good game.
Yeah.
It was a fun one to watch.
Well, I saw on Twitter people were saying, why don't we put in the backup? Why don't we put in Booty? Why don't we put in
I have no
Evers?
idea. I was wondering that, too.
They put in Evers there at the end of the game. He throws one pass. It looks like he's not even ever played high school football. Looked like a Little League guy throwing the ball at the receiver's feet. So, obviously, we have no backup. I think Booty came to OU for NIL money because he's got a cool name, General Booty. He's making money off the name at a big school like OU. So obviously he can't play quarterback. He'll never play it down at OU, or if he does, it'll be like a mop up, give a handoff here or there, kneel down at the end of a game.
Played like had Wildcat, which was actually working. For a little bit.
See, that's what I liked about the game. I like, it. Obviously, Levy knew there was no way that Bevel was the answer for this game, and we came out with some ingenuity there. It kind of freaked.
We had like, if we can go into the, okay, let me introduce it real quick. This is yet another week of Days of Our Sooners.
A little late.
Where we talk about the never-ending soap opera of Oklahoma football. I am Britton. I'm here with my dad, Todd.
Hi, fans.
And we're going to be talking about this just Makes you hate Texas more when you lose, you know.
Of course, I'm just.
It's like when we beat them, they hate us more.
Yeah.
I bet McConaughey was happy though.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got his Longhorns up sign going on and his greased back hair with his Longhorn hat all greased up. So, I was disappointed in the entire game. Defense
49 to nothing.
Defense horrible. Offense inept. I like the ingenuity of the Wildcat. You know what I don't understand is it's working.
Yeah, I know.
Drive all the way down the field. It's working. We get down there close. Let's bring Bevel in to F it up.
I know.
Why?
I was baffled as well.
Bash it into the end zone with the stuff that's working. I didn't understand that.
Stuff I liked. Not much, but I did like that we kind of started. We did at least start the game trying with all guns. I liked the more aggressive play calling. We didn't just slow start it and let them spank up on us.
Yeah.
It was only a delayed spank up on us, though.
Right. Well, we come out, we hold them to a 3 and out, so I'm thinking, okay, we're fired up. And then we get the punt, we get a first down, so I'm thinking, okay, Bevel's completed a pass, we're fired up, and then we lose the series, punt it to them, and then they do a 90-yard drive on us, and then I knew, it's going to be ugly.
I thought it would at least be like an ugly game, like a closer game, but
I could have accepted a 49-21 game, something like that. Yeah, we got our butts kicked, but we didn't break historic records in the process. 311 games. I don't even know how many. That's 30. That's 30 years.
I know. I feel your pain, Dad. I've been just. Oh my Lord! I've been bombarded with OU Twitter, getting just. Everyone is freaking out right. We are in panic mode right now.
Yeah. What I liked about the game, I did like, the ingenuity of the offense.
We had more creative play calling, and then just Levy has some very glaring flaws.
Yeah.
To be fair, he is not of the Lincoln Riley offensive mastermind.
No, he doesn't have the ingenuity. He's never thought up the plays that Riley's thought up. He has the run it on the left side, run it on the right side. Let's do a jet sweep to the short side of the field. It's not working. We have to come up with some better ingenuity. Defenses are too good now. We don't have the personnel. We don't have Baker. We don't have Kyler. We don't have Big Game. We don't have Rattler. We don't have Caleb. So figure something out. I'm not happy with Levy. I haven't seen the great offensive mind that is Jeff Levy just yet. Maybe he's got something in store that he'll change my mind. But
I hope so, but I was even saying this in week 1. I'm like, dude, he has some glaring issues that, man, if we go up against some legit opponents, they are going to exploit it. I hate to say I was right, but I was right.
I don't know why we don't bring Mark Mangino out of the donut shop and get him back on the sideline. I don't know why we don't bring back Kevin Wilson, the guy that engineered the 5-6 games of scoring 60 points per game. I mean, there's guys out there that have to be better than Levy. I don't know. Maybe he's going to show me something in the
he's like a guy to like try and keep things together before we get the real guy. I have no idea.
I don't know. He's an OU guy, so I'm going to give him a little bit of time, but he needs to show me something because I don't know. Again, the play calling at first was not terrible. Like he was being aggressive. I don't know why he calls off the dogs.
Yeah, exactly. He'll just shoot himself in the foot, and you're like, what are you doing, sir?
One thing I did like is Braden Willis. would have ever considered our tight end playing quarterback. He was taking a lot of those shotgun snaps and running the Wildcat as we started off. We had shotguns to Eric Gray. That was working well. Marcus Major, even Farouk was getting involved.
Yeah, Farouk was killing it, man.
We've got some guys. We've got some
talent. You know?
Yeah, we've got some guys. We just got to put it together, and it just looks
like a
disorganized.
lot of people were asking for Levy to be fired, and in all honesty, it's kind of hard to disagree with. Now I get only been 6 games, but dude has some glaring errors.
It's bad when our punter's the ace of the team. You know, it's just, that's our
And
number
there's
one guy.
there's talented people on this team too.
Yeah.
Like we got Farouk, we got Major, we got that Barnes guy. What's his name? Javante Barnes.
Yeah.
We got
he's gonna be a
Marvin
player.
Mims.
Yeah, we got the ball to Mims one time the entire game.
I know!
For -2 yards. He's probably looking at the transfer
He's
portal
like,
now.
oh my-
Or going to the pros. He won't be back next year, in my opinion. I like the guy, but why would he stay around and rebuild?
I mean-
go on to the NFL or somebody bigger.
And like I said, I know it's like a rebuild year, but come on, show some pride, people.
Yeah.
It's like last week, It's like, come on. Like, at least try and play well. But, I bet this is what Texas was feeling last year under Sarkisian, because they had a crap... I am really hoping that we have the Sarkisian turnaround where we go from borderline tanking into actually decent team.
Right.
Because Sarkisian, I give him a lot of flack, but he's not terrible. Like, he's not a bad play caller at all. He fights till the end.
Yeah, and now these...
For better or for worse.
Now these couch potato coaches are worried that we're going to, lose our recruiting class because we're losing so badly right now. Well, if I'm Venables, I'm out there saying, see, guys, you can come in and play right away. We got a bunch of nobodies on this team. We got a bunch of guys that don't know how to play college football. When I say nobodies, they're great human beings, I'm sure. But we have high expectations at OU. High expectations.
Maybe unrealistically high at times.
And so if you're a top-notch, young kid, you're going to get to come in and play right away on this team. So, I'm hoping they can hold it together. I think they can. Venables is such
We're a
good
team that always
recruiter.
we always find a way to bounce back.
We
I
tend
think
to.
that.
We tend to. Now, things that I did not like in this game for sure is just the lack of
where could you start?
Well, just fundamental football. Number one that comes to mind is the ball's being kicked out of bounds on a kickoff. When it's kicked out of bounds on a kickoff, you get the ball at the 35. No, our guy calls for a fair catch and makes a tiptoe catch while the ball's going out of bounds. That's lack of coaching and preparation, in my opinion. That's what worries me.
Good Lord. Yeah, I know. We looked inept out there. I'm laughing so I don't cry, but oh god, I was infuriated. And I tried to hold it off, I'm like, all right, we got a show to do, I'll try and hold it back for that, but man, it's tough being a Sooner fan right now.
It is tough being a Sooner fan.
We went from number 6 looking sexy against Nebraska, and I knew we were gonna, like I said, have some struggle. Didn't know it was gonna be like this.
How bad is Nebraska?
Yeah, I know. Makes you wonder.
Makes you wonder what Texas would do to them. So, not much to really talk about in the game. And we drive it down there and then we do a pop pass, not needed. We're running the ball on them, get it intercepted. Look like a Nerf basketball shot. It's just horrible.
We just shot ourselves in the foot.
The defense, did we have any defense even playing, or was it just an empty field? Was they just running plays against air? It seemed like that. I saw very little will on the team to stop the Texas quarterback. Robinson ran all over us, over 100 yards. A non-existent running quarterback breaks it. We're 3rd and 15. He breaks it for 20 yards.
It was
what are we
Mike
doing?
Stoops type of stuff right there.
It was horrible. I think it's beyond Mike Stoops. Mike Stoops was a great coach in his day, so had some tough years, but this was just ridiculous.
Well, maybe I should say past his prime. Mike Stoops level
past his prime.
of
When him
defense.
and Venables together, they were a great defensive
Get
coaching
Mike Stoops
unit.
back for see if they can regain that Venables Mike Stoops magic.
I don't know. I don't know if Mike or Venables wants Mike Stoops around, but even
What, they didn't like each other or something?
when they brought Mike Stoops back, Venables left for Clemson right away. So, and to be honest with the OU fans, we're down on Venables at the time. We were having some tough defensive years there, and they were kind of doing their old thing they did with Rattler. They kind of ran him out of town, and he went to Clemson and showed him what's up. So
that's the thing, though. I'm like, I'm waiting for when Venables just completely just comes back and just shows why OU is feared.
Yeah.
Or why we should be feared.
And that's one of the things about coaching in general is it the coach that's great, or is it the players that you have that are great that makes the coach great?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
If you really think of like Lombardi, you know.
Lombardi time. Be here 10 minutes late. Earlier, you're late.
You know, I mean,
that's good philosophy.
But I mean, you know, I'm always telling Dad, I'm like, I think it's both. You know, you got to have a good player. You got to have good players who know what they're doing, and you got to have good coaches that know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have one or both of those things, it's going to be a clown show.
Yeah. Now, I did watch the playback show with Venables. I did watch the huddle. I did watch the coaches show with Venable. Venables looks beat down. He really does. He looks like he's searching for answers, and maybe there are no answers because you just don't have the players. But I do like his philosophies in that you have to keep fighting, you have to step up. He talked about the 2005 season, which was coming off 2003, 2004. We go for national championships, a lot of graduation. This year we've had a lot of turnover. Either guys went to the NFL, they portaled out. Lincoln Riley possibly was not recruiting at the greatest heights that he could have been. And so maybe that's why Lincoln left, was because he saw the writing on the wall that he was going to be exposed. So Venables has to pick up the pieces here.
Yeah, I was about to say, we're kind of in a precarious spot after the Lincoln Riley era.
But we in the 2005 season, after coming off the 2003, 2004 national championship runs, we open up the 2005 season with a lot of young guys. A guy named Rhett Bomar that you may not remember, Britt, because I think you were about 4 years old.
I remember hearing about him.
Right, so he's our new freshman phenom, 5-star quarterback. We start off, we lose when TCU was not even in our conference. I think they were in the WAC or something. We lose to TCU. Bad loss.
Against Gary Patterson, wasn't it?
I don't think even Gary Patterson was there at the time. May have. And then we win a game against Tulsa. How can you lose against Tulsa when you're OU? And then we get drilled by UCLA, and we look like a clown show there. Come back, and we lose big to Texas. That's with Vince Young, with the year I believe they went on to the national title year. I believe so. And then later on the year, in a controversial loss, we lost to Tech. So we lost 4 games that year, but the guys turned it around. They figured it out. They had a bit of a breakthrough. They rallied, and they won a Holiday Bowl against Oregon. And then the next year we were a little better. And then by 2008, just 3 short years after, we're in the Orange Bowl watching Sam Bradford against Tim Tebow. So
I mean, that's what I was trying to say. I'm like, look, I don't think we're going to get a dynasty right away.
Yeah.
You know, this stuff takes time. And I know a lot. I know OU fans have high expectations.
Yeah.
Me and Dad do. Maybe sometimes to an unrealistic way. Would you agree with me on this?
I would agree. You said 10-2. I said 12-0. You know, as we started the season, I had high expectations. So quickly vanished there. Now I'm a little worried. So how do you feel about the rest of the season here, Britt? Can we win another game? Who are we going to beat? Who can we beat?
I don't know. Ryan is all like, I don't think we're going to beat Kansas next
Well,
week.
the Big 12, up and down. All the teams are tough.
But in all honesty, really could go. I don't know. Really could go either way.
Yeah.
I don't see us winning to Kansas, but I would love to see us beat Kansas because last week showed they can be beaten. They'll put up a fight, but they can do it.
Right.
Now, we are kind of down in dumps right now, so I highly doubt we'll beat Kansas.
Right.
But I'd love to be proven wrong. Mm-hmm. OU, please take this show as a motivator boost. But you know, it's just I don't know. This season is like 2007 all over again. This was one of the first years that was one of the first years I fell in love with college football.
Yeah.
Because that season was insane. Just Appalachian State beats Michigan. Mm-hmm. California was like number 1. No one stayed at number 1 throughout that year.
Yeah.
So many teams that are used to just tap dancing on other teams just didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is our 2007.
Well, that's what
where
makes...
this season's gonna be unpredictable. I don't know who the hell we're gonna win, who we're gonna lose to. It's exciting, but it's also very scary because I don't know, man.
So let's think about, let's just run through the schedule. So we got Kansas this week. So Kansas coming in.
Kansas,
to TCU.
who's probably pissed off that they've been our rag for so many years.
They'd love to kick us, right? They would love
That's why
to.
I'm saying I don't know if we're going to win that game because this is going to be a pissed off Kansas that the Jayhawks going to bite.
So we get drubbed by TCU. Kansas fights them till the end, and they lost their first string quarterback in the game. And only lost by 7. Can we win that game?
I don't know. That's why I'm saying this whole season is going to be unpredictable. I don't want to make predictions. I don't want to be like Ryan and be like, we're just going to suck.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I don't want to... You know what? Some of these fans, they call people the sunshine pumpers. I'm going to call them the Debbie Downers.
Mm-hmm.
I am not settling for 3-9, baby.
Okay, Iowa State, at Iowa State. Can we win the game?
Iowa State's look pretty suspect this year.
Mm-hmm. Their
So
defense
maybe.
looks tough. Baylor? Were we beating Baylor this year?
I have no idea on Baylor. God.
West-
OSU?
What about West Virginia? Now,
Maybe.
surely we can beat West Virginia, right?
Maybe.
OSU, that looks like you're clobbering. And then we finish up with Tech. Tech looks solid this year. You got to hope they've had a breakdown by the end of the year when we play Tech. But
God, I don't know.
I don't see a for sure win at all.
I can definitely see either close games or we're going to get smacked around some more.
We need to win 3 games to get bowl eligible. Can we get bowl eligible? Can we get to a December 20th bowl game like the Pinstriper Bowl or something crazy like that? It's not even being shown on regular TV. You probably have to go
my worst fear is we have like a Texas season last year where they just sucked.
Yeah.
Well, then again, I think we broke them after that last season because they were not terrible.
Yeah.
The previous year, and then I think after we came back and beat them, it just broke their spirit for the year.
Yeah,
I really hope that doesn't happen to us because that would suck.
I think a great year now at this point is just about like a 6-6, get to a bowl game, maybe win that, finish with a winning record. That would be a dream come true at this point, right? Now, what do you think? See if you watch Twitter, then we're done. It's John Blake era, 90s.
This is
we're in
I
serious
can't accept
trouble
that for some reason because it's 6. We're 6 games in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, were we overhyped a little bit? You know what? I'll give you that. We probably were because you know what? Lincoln Riley, I don't even know a word to use.
Yeah.
He shirked us. I actually have a thing I found on Twitter that I was like, that really made me feel better in this bleak period that we found ourselves in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to read it right now, but I did want to read it for the viewers, whoever watches our show.
Mm-hmm.
But Lincoln kind of left us in a precarious spot.
Yeah, it's not just he took 3 players to USC. Obviously the 2 Williams, Mario and Caleb. So those are 2 great players, and then another nondescript defensive back. So yeah, we lost those 3 players. So he didn't really gut our team, but we had other people transfer out because of Lincoln Riley. And what I feel like is that the recruiting, especially on the defensive side, was not up to par. He saw the writing on the wall. He caught the exit before he was shown to be what he is, which is a mediocre offensive genius, mediocre
Better
head coach.
Coordinator than the head coach.
Agree.
Possibly.
Agree.
Maybe like Sark. That's kind of what I peg Sark as.
Yeah.
I know the Texas fans are probably going to be like, "You're just bitter because you suck this year." Well, you know what, Texas? Screw you guys.
Right. We're not used to this, Texas. You are.
Awesome.
Worries about the future of OU football. How are you feeling about the future? Let's say the next 3 years. Let's say the next decade. Are we going to give up after 3 games and say Sooner football's over with? Shut down the program.
No, I don't.
Let's start watching softball right now.
OU, nah. I don't think so. I mean, like OU sports, like you know this. Sports is our livelihood out here.
That's right. We're going to root for the Thunder? Come on.
Like, football is like religion out here.
Correct.
It's like the second religion out here.
Exactly.
Like, it's like out in Alabama. There's nothing better to do out here.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't think OU is going to, like, go to an end. But am I a bit worried about the future of OU football? A little bit. But you know what? Venables has proven himself before. I'd love to see him do it again, and I can punk Ryan as much as I want and tell him how wrong he was. Maybe I'll just save it for next year.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just save it for the next couple of years.
I feel like Venables, he gets a couple of good recruiting classes in here, and we can turn this baby around. And, in a couple of years, I don't think next year we're going to be a title contender, but I would say here in 24, we ought to be, going into the SEC. Boy, I hope we're ready.
Oh, God.
I hope we're ready.
I really hope we don't go into the hope we don't go into the Big 12 curse that seems to happen, where really great teams just crap out once they move conferences.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't want to think OU would do this, but we'll see.
I guess we will see. So the future is, I guess, up in the air.
I'm pulling for Brent Venables though. I'm rooting for him.
I am too, and I think if we were going to stay in the Big 12, then I would have a brighter opinion. Building
SEC,
and then having to go into the SEC, I'm a little bit nervous. I hope we don't get into the middle of the pack there and just stay there for several years. The SEC has broken some great teams in the past. And so, with that Alabama and Georgia juggernaut, don't want to be on the wrong side of that deal.
That's the only thing I'm nervous about going to the SEC. I'm like, why did you go to the SEC?
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, do you want us to have heart attacks every week now? Like, come on.
Just like old Mark Mangino, Coach Donut said, it's all about the dollars, dollar bills. And so, we went over there for the money, but I hope it doesn't,
I hope it doesn't bite
decimate
us.
our program. So,
I don't think it will, but, know.
Now, what about this naysaying, jump off the bandwagon, love you when you're winning,
the bandwagoners,
hate you when you're losing, burn it down fan base that we have here? What are you thinking about these folks? Is it just a few guys on Twitter that are making it seem like that, or do we have a loyal fan base? Are we going to sell out the crowds like we have? Are we going to lose that record too?
I think it's just like a noisy minority. I don't know.
I hope so. They're very loud on the Twitter.
I ain't a bandwagoner.
Yeah, it might be 20 guys on Twitter that are making it seem like
Dad
that.
didn't raise a bandwagoner.
Exactly. We're Sooners born and bred, just like the Sooner fight song says. Sooner born,
we're gonna die.
Sooner bred, and when we die, we're Sooner dead. That's us. And I know we don't go to the games anymore, Britt, but if I start seeing that people are not going to go to the games anymore and we're going to have empty stands, maybe me and you have to go fill a couple of seats. I don't know.
Now, hope it doesn't come to that. What I will say is that we do have a very... If there is nothing else I can say, we do have a very passionate fan base.
Oh, we got a SEC ready.
We got an SEC ready fan base.
Yeah,
for
we
sure.
got an SEC ready fan base. At least Twitter wise, we have an SEC. I don't know about tailgating and all of the revelry you see out there with the SEC, but this fan base is Twitter ready for SEC.
I don't think we're gonna abandon the team though. I highly doubt we're gonna.
I hope not. Not in one season. Now, if we're 4 seasons into this and nothing's changed and we're still losing and it is the John Blake era, hey, OU, you get what you deserve. All right? You can't sell enough beer to fill up the stands when you're getting your butts kicked 70-0. So the fan base has me a little worried, but hopefully we can.
It's just I'm disgusted with the fan. They jump off at the first sign of trouble. It's like, guys, I'm not trying to be like. Am I a little overly optimistic at times? Maybe, but I'm trying to be realistic here. I did not think this was going to be a perfect year. Now it was. I thought we would at least be respectable.
Yeah.
We're not looking respectable right now, which is why a lot of people... That's why I'm worried, is that we're not looking respectable.
So 2 years in a row. Last year they boo, Rattler off the field, and they're chanting, "We want Caleb." I mean, that's ridiculous. These are college kids.
We're the freaking lolcow of the week right now.
Yeah. And then this year we've got bandwagon jumping, so it's just ridiculous. The fan base needs to straighten up and grow up and mature. Up next,
Going up against Kansas.
Kansas Jayhawks.
Which I never thought I'd be nervous about that game.
The laughing stock. They nearly beat us last year.
That's true.
And I think they're better this year.
Oh, most definitely. They went 5-0 for the first time in years.
They lost a lot of close ones last year. They beat Texas last year at Texas.
Which we made fun of thoroughly.
And maybe we shouldn't have made fun of them.
Yeah, no.
Because they're coming into our house, and I guarantee they want to put one on us too, and then they can say, last year we beat Texas at Texas, this year we beat OU at OU.
Now we're unstoppable.
Look at us. Leopold coach for Kansas, great turnaround, you know.
That impressive turnaround.
Yeah, impressive.
Because they turned from, like, starting to get, like... I can definitely, like, best case scenario here, I can definitely see, like, if we do, like, have, like, a Kansas season where... Well, maybe not a Kansas season, but, like, Kansas last year where they were they had potential, but they kept getting shut down.
Mm-hmm.
That could be us. Like, next year we could come back swinging. You know? I can see that happening.
Hot sports opinion.
Hot sports opinion.
Coming up. Kansas will not do the right thing and pay this coach what he deserves to keep him there, invest in their facilities and bring it up to Big 12 standards. They're going to let this guy go. Next year, somebody's going to come along, a blue blood, a Nebraska, or one of these other big schools are going to come and snatch him up, and Kansas will be back in the cellar in 2 to 3 years. Probably 2. So I'm saying they're having their great year this year, just like they did with Mangina. They had Mangina in there. He changes the culture. They start winning. They win the Orange Bowl. How? They win the Orange Bowl. And what do? Oh, he's too mean. Fire Mangino and hit the dumpster again. You don't lose a guy like that. And I have a prediction that they're going to pull the same crap. These schools never learn.
Kansas has been a clown show for a long time.
They're a basketball school.
I'm just saying that. I say that with sympathy to Kansas fans.
They're a basketball school. They're happy being a basketball school. They're going to blow this, and this guy is going to be gone after this year. That's my hot sports opinion for you, Brett.
You know what? I'll see. I'll see.
Now, this is one thing that really surprised me because I didn't really watch the game closely. I believe that game was going on at the exact same time we were getting our humiliation.
We were too busy moping over OU and just going, oh.
So Kansas loses their starting quarterback. They bring in their backup, which they have a backup. They have a guy that started games in the past. This guy is faster than the starting quarterback, and they put up 4 touchdowns and only lose to TCU with their backup quarterback by 7 and had a chance to win the game. They could have won that game. And
I saw a little bit of that.
Isn't that the same TCU team that took us to the woodshed and paddled our behind by about 30 plus? So very nervous about this game. I don't care if they don't have their starting quarterback. I'm nervous altogether. Their defense looks good. They look well coached. Their guys don't catch it when the ball's going out of bounds on the kickoff. They know to let it go out of bounds so we can get the ball at the 35-yard line. They're not making those kind of
amateur mistakes like that.
That's the kind of stuff that you see in junior high football. You don't catch the ball when it's going out of bounds. You let it go out of bounds, guy.
At least we're not, like, talking shit while we're getting blown out, like in the Blake era.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was ridiculous. Let's don't bring that back out. So,
do you think we're still you think we're going to be entering into a new Blake era? I don't think so, but, you know, again, I wasn't alive.
I can't see it. I feel like Venables has got the skill. He's won 3 national championships with 2 different teams. 2 with Clemson, 1 with us. he's a well-known commodity. People around the country, I'm talking about kids that are going to college.
He's respected.
He's respected. People are going to come see him.
I respect him.
And come play for him. And he's going to get this thing turned around. I don't know if Levy's the answer. I think the defensive coordinator, Roof, he might have to go.
I was about to say, he seems a little past his prime.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Matt Rule just got fired in Carolina, the old Baylor coach that brought them back. And so, hey, maybe he's available to be a quality control guy and step into a defensive coordinator role.
Is that what he was before he was head coach of Baylor?
I believe so. I may be wrong about that.
I was about to ask you if you heard about Rule getting fired.
I did, yeah. And I'm going to be honest with you, I watched a couple of their games. They were kind of pitiful. So
to be honest,
maybe
I
he's
think
not the answer. But
they haven't. Has the NFL not learned that it's not a good idea to hire college coaches?
Yeah, it hasn't worked out.
Saban did okay, but that dude's got like black magic or something like that.
Even Saban didn't do that good. The only one that I can really think of that's done really good is Pete Carroll.
That's true.
And they won.
He's just that good.
Yeah. They won big time.
They won a Super Bowl.
Super Bowls.
I think he's the only one who's ever won a Super Bowl and a national championship.
Yeah, might be. So, Barry Switzer did that, I believe, for the Cowboys.
Oh,
I believe Barry's done that.
Yeah.
So there's not many that's done that. So you're right about that. So.
What else? Didn't Lou Holtz go to the NFL, or did he suck in the NFL?
Very short time. I think he might have coached the Jets 1 year, 2 years. He didn't do well there.
Jimmy Johnson? Didn't he do that?
Jimmy Johnson. Yeah, I think Jimmy Johnson would be another one in there. Yeah, he won with Miami for sure. He won with the Cowboys for sure. So there's been some, but not many. So.
But yeah, my point is, usually, don't hire college coaches, guys.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll is an exception to the rule.
It's a different game. You're talking about college kids and having the authority over them, and then you go into a league where some of the players are making more money than you are. Some of these younger college coaches, the players might be older than they are, so I don't know that they get the respect that they would from Bill Belichick. Some of the older, more established coaches. But I don't think it's a great idea to move into the pro ranks.
Well, I'm glad Bob didn't go to the NFL.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad Bob didn't go. Speaking of Bob, can he come back and save us? I don't know. I mean, could he come back and be
he's vouching
a defensive
for
coordinator for Venables?
He's vouching for Brent Venables big time. So don't doubt big game Bob, man.
Yeah, he said give him time, and I trust in Bob. I trust in Bob.
Me too.
He took us through a couple of decades of fine football at OU. So. All right, Brett. So I don't think there's anything else to talk about OU Texas wide. Let's just wait till next year for that one. I'm going to wait one more season before I go back down to the Red River rivalry. I don't know if I can take a big loss again. So I'm going to wait till next year, see what happens. Then we may go back in a couple of years.
Yeah, I'm like, after this trip last week, I'm like, I kind of want to stay at the comfort of my home next year.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think we're going to go to the lake next year either. That was kind of a...
We love you, Rick, but
that was kind of a beatdown, but...
we love you, Rick, but, just like,
Yeah, and I'm just... One thing I'm happy about is I didn't go spend a couple grand for us to go down there and watch that 49-0 beatdown.
Oh, thank God.
You weren't the...
you weren't the bad juju this time.
You weren't the bad juju. You know who the new bad juju is? Mike and Monday. First OU game, and it's the worst game.
I felt horrible for Mike and Monday.
Yeah, that was horrible. So let's talk about some games that we saw from this week. So what did you think about that Alabama and A&M game?
A&M, they're scrappy.
Yeah, they are scrappy.
Let me tell you, they're the Kansas State of the SEC right now.
Yeah.
These bastards lose to Appalachian State.
Mm-hmm.
Though Appalachian State has a talent for upsetting
big namers.
Mm-hmm. And they nearly beat Alabama again.
Yeah.
Last year they did it.
Yeah.
And that was like, if you remember last year, if I wasn't already excited that we beat Texas after it looked like they were gonna slap us, oh boy, I was thrilled when Alabama lost.
Right. Now, there was a lot of off-season trash talk between Saban and Jimbo Fisher, the Texas A&M coach. Saban said
they worked together.
They may have worked together, but Saban was saying Jimbo's bought all his players down there in A&M, and And then Jimbo fires back. Saban's been buying him for years. So there was some bad blood there. I really felt like Alabama was going to go in there and address A&M for Saban's sake. But, hey, they couldn't do it. A&M was there. Like you said, they were scrappy. Had a chance to win it. Thought the play call at the end to try to win it there with 3 seconds left.
Should have ran the ball.
You got to get in the end zone to catch the touchdown pass. You can't catch the ball at the 1 yard line coming back. So
I would have just ran the ball.
I think it was a mistake there. Those big defensive linemen for Alabama, though, I think the pass might have been the right way to go. I'm not concerned with the pass. I didn't like the pass pattern. I didn't like the ingenuity. You got to pull off something big to beat Saban with his black magic going on. So.
Yeah, I know.
But great game, and A&M is probably
they're literally the Kansas State right now of SEC.
All the teams that left the Big 12. I think A&M's really had the best success. Yeah. So I think they have to hang their hat on that.
I'm curious to see those rivalries come back once we go over there.
Now, one thing that's scaring me about the SEC, and you see this from time to time, you'll see a Florida jump back into the mix and be good, and other teams. But here comes Tennessee on the ride with our old
Josh Heupel.
Josh Heupel, runner-up to the Heisman Trophy.
He also ran out of town, if I remember right.
Yeah, he's proven to be a pretty good coach. And so they're looking fairly good. Had an easy victory this week. And they look on the rise. I think they're maybe top 5, top 6 in the country now. Are they 8?
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
So they're coming up. And then what's going on with Mike Leach? Everywhere he goes, even in the SEC, stumps the opposing teams. They drub Arkansas. Who saw that? It was
not terrible.
Yeah, Arkansas's pretty good this year.
That quarterback that dude could be an all-timer if they play their cards right.
Yeah, but Mike Leach... They put a whipping on him. It was 41-20, something like that.
I feel so bad for Arkansas all the time. It's like, even when they're at the cusp of, really good, they just, they find a way to just not do well.
Yeah.
Though, hey, still pulling for you, Arkansas.
Yeah.
We'll beat Alabama one day.
Go hog. Woo, peak, suey.
Yeah, I know. It's always super awkward for me when I go to the other team game. Like, my grandfather would take me to the OSU games, and I would just be like an alien amongst them. I'm more of an OU guy, but, I'm pulling for the team. I'm just happy to spend the time. Same thing when we went to Arkansas. I was wearing my OU shirt out of all the stuff to wear. I was like, oh, jeez.
Well, at least it's red like the Arkansas folks. We had that going, so... Now, we talked already about the TCU-KU game, so KU really hung tight, really gutsy without their starting quarterback, so they're for real. I'm scared. TCU, there's that guy on game day called the Bear, the guy that does the stats and makes the predictions in the game. Before the season started, he predicted, before one game had been played, he predicted TCU would win the Big 12 this year.
I can see it.
Yeah. Now I see what he was talking about. Yeah.
OU is kind of in a... I wasn't expecting we'd win. I'll be honest. I was not expecting we'd win the Big 12 this year. I wasn't expecting we'd get in. I was expecting at least 2 or 3 losses. Mm-hmm. But, OU's looking suspect right now. OSU's actually looking pretty good. Yeah. I mean,
OSU had a big win against Tech. Tech is for real. I mean, they jumped out.
Tech is not terrible.
Yeah, they jumped out on OSU, scored a touchdown right away. Now, this is what I'm talking about coaching, Britton. I don't know if you saw this call, but Tech, after scoring an initial touchdown, they do an onside kick where the ball is kicked into the ground and it bounces up real high.
Wasn't that called illegal, though?
It wasn't called illegal. What happened was the OSU player raised his hand and called a fair catch. Now, I have never seen that done in my history of watching. Now, I've seen fair catches on punts. I've seen fair catches when it gets kicked off deep. I've never seen a fair catch called on the front line of an onside kick. I'm not sure why you don't just fair catch it every time. So that's another story we'll have to talk about some other time. But he fair catches it, and then the Texas Tech guy didn't give him room to try to catch the ball. Therefore, OSU gets to keep the ball. That's well coached. That's not catching the ball before it goes out of bounds. We've talked about this before. That guy knew what to do. Hats off to our old
LSU
buddy
guy.
Mike Gundy for coaching that up. I don't know who coached
I love
that.
Gundy. I love Mike Gundy.
I don't know who coached him up on that. Maybe it was Gundy. Maybe it was the
Probably Les Miles.
special-
Wasn't he under Les Miles at first?
maybe Les taught Gundy that, but I don't know who taught that kid that to do a fair catch there. But wow, that's well coached. I was happy to see OSU go ahead and beat Tech and stay in the hunt. If it's not us, might as well be OSU. Did I say that?
You know, I have a fondness for Mike Gundy.
Yeah, I do too.
You know, the man is a local meme around
Yeah.
here. If
He
you
is.
remember the infamous "I'm a man, I'm 40" incident.
It's famous. It's famous. And then this one I don't understand at all. K-State 10, Iowa State 9. Is that the same team that rolled up 41 points against us?
Well, to be fair, that was a close loss against Kansas.
They scored
State.
41 against us. They could only score 10 against Iowa State. That's my point. So, if Iowa State can hold that offense down, what are they going to do to us? Is that another shutout coming for us? I'm a little bit nervous about that one. But K-State, like you said, is for real. There's 3 unbeatens left in the Big 12. Listen to this lineup. OSU, TCU, Kansas State
But Kansas State is unbeaten.
in the Big 12. They haven't lost a conference game. They did lose that little Tulane game.
Oh yeah.
Tulane must be
We're 0-3, which that hurts more.
yeah. So we're in the bottom. We're 0-3. I've never seen OU at the bottom. I don't even look at the papers anymore. I can't stand to see OU in the bottom of the rankings. But like I said, I hope this is 2005. I hope that we've been digging for gold. We're looking for that gold patch, and I hope it's just an inch away. We just got to dig a little further, and then there's the gold for us. I don't know if that's the case. That's what Venables was saying, that you have to keep digging and keep digging. You might be only an inch away from the gold, so you have to dig a little further and see if the gold's there.
You know, I think this would be an appropriate time to read this post I read that made me feel better in this bleak period that we're in right now.
Read on, sir.
It's a subreddit, so I mean, you know, say what you will about Reddit, but it says fair weather fans. It's by a guy called OK Answer 9747. So if you watch this and want to claim this is yours or whatever, I don't know how copyright works. Also, in case people do copyright us for the music, we don't own any of this stuff. Yeah. But anyway,
shout out to you, sir.
Shout out to you, sir, is what I'm saying. He said, "We knew this year is going to be hard. When the traitor left in the middle of the night for USC, he took something from us. Yes, he took most of our staff, most of our high-caliber players, caused most of our recruits to decommit, and then the rest went to the NFL. But what he really took was the heart of our program and destroyed it. He demoralized these poor college kids who thought they were coming to play at the legendary Oklahoma. Let's not forget these boys are very young and need to be guided. There's no heart right now. Lincoln took something that was not owed to him, something thousands of men before him worked so hard to build. He's the textbook definition of a traitor. Lincoln was made by Bob Stoops. He was handed the keys to the castle, and then he stole everything inside and ran for greener pastures. So before you decide to behead the coaching staff halfway through the first season, take a deep breath, pull your head firmly from your ass, and let the man rebuild the dynasty. It's all going to be okay. Boomer."
Sooner.
Yeah.
Give me a tissue.
What'd you think of that real quick?
I loved it. I wish I'd have written it.
There you go.
Let me drop a tear real quick. I love that man. So yeah,
I thought that was like, wow, he really put to words what I was thinking.
he did indeed. He's a poet and didn't know it. He's great. I like it. I feel the same way as this guy. So I'm behind you, guy. Keep tweeting. I'm going to follow you. So let's talk about next week. I don't think there's anything else to say about this lousy game, but
Kansas and OU.
Kansas and OU, scary.
Scary, but we'll see what happens.
We'll
I'm
see what happens.
a wait and see kind of guy.
I'm going to go ahead and tune in at 11 and see what happens.
I know Ryan doesn't like that. He's just like, we're going to lose. We're going to suck.
Yeah.
But, I try to be like, you know what? College is, football is a very fickle sport.
Mm-hmm.
And, we could pull up. We could be that team that embarrasses the really good team this year.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be fun.
To do it. I would definitely shout it out.
But continue what you were going to say.
Well, we've got a battle of some unbeatens here, some unlikely unbeatens in the Big 12. OSU, TCU, that's the game of the year? Okay. Thoughts on that? Can TCU defeat OSU? Can OSU defeat TCU?
I have no idea.
Let's just watch the game.
Let's just watch the game. Yep.
Another big game this week, and we're going to see if Tennessee is for real. They've got the Alabama Crimson Tide coming in. So
it's going to go up against the evil dark sorcerer that is Saban.
I'm gonna
okay, he's not evil. I'm sure he's a nice guy. But,
yeah.
you know.
I'm gonna go with Saban for now until I don't know if Josh Heupel has the voodoo to defeat the black magic of Mr. Nick Saban, Coach Nick Saban. So that's going to be another great one. And then finally, USC is going to face somebody that's at least formidable. I think Utah's dropped back a bit. What are your thoughts on this one, Brett?
I don't know. You know, if you remember, I was like, man, I can definitely see Lincoln pulling some of the stuff he pulled while he was with us, which is playing down the competition and getting saved by talent.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely see that happening here. Because this man is brilliant at playing down the people we should be spanking.
Yes, he is. Now, USC, I think, their offense is still...
He loves playing Russian roulette with those, with the fan base.
Right. I think their offense still looks pretty dynamic, although they've been held down a little bit by some of these teams, so it's not like they're rolling over everybody. But Utah, I think they were rated to win the Big 10 or Big 12 this year, or Pac-12 this year, and so I'd like to see. I'm going to watch that one. I haven't watched any of the USC games this year, but I'm going to watch that one and see what they're really made of, and see if they're a playoff type team. They don't have very many big games. I don't know that they even play Oregon this year. So this might
UCLA's pretty good, though.
UCLA has been looking pretty good. They look very physical this year, so UCLA may have a chance to...
I mean, Chip Kelly might be a dick, but good coach.
Yeah. So they may have a chance to sneak up on them, but I'm anxious to see how Utah does against USC. Other than that, there's no real games on my radar. I'm going to watch the OU game, obviously.
We both are.
Yeah, and then the OSU TCU game. I'm not sure what time that game's coming on. I'm sure I'll tune into Alabama Tennessee.
I'm thinking that's a 3:30 game.
Okay, and then I'm assuming USC Utah is going to be late, so I think we'll have a good day of football.
Should be
coming up on Saturday. Do have another church project to go to early in the morning Saturday, so I'm really...
Oh my God!
I guess this is the year.
This is just the year we're just firing blanks on all cylinders.
This is the year that the Lord... I never miss a minute of OU football, and it seems like almost every game this year I've been pulled away for something. Church projects obviously a worthy reason to miss a little bit of OU football, although...
I mean,
I'm not happy about it. So.
I mean, you are going on vacation next week, but you'll be back before OU football. So.
I will be back for that. So headed to California. I'll say hi to Lincoln Riley for everybody. We're going down there to Los Angeles. Maybe I'll put me up a Lincoln Riley trader. I'll leave that in the hotel there that I'm staying at. Any final comments for the show tonight?
Maybe talk about the NFL a little bit.
Okay, what you got in the NFL?
NFL, I'm frustrated. I'm always frustrated with the NFL. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
They're a freaking clown show sometimes.
One thing that surprised me is the Cowboys lose Dak, and they've won 4 games in a row. This Cooper Rush has really been kind of a savior for them, and held them through. Maybe they're playing some kind of easier competition right now. Although they beat the Rams. The Rams won the Super Bowl last year.
I'm a long jaded Cowboys fan. So.
And what about Big Game being talked about as the NFL MVP? Maybe he was right.
This there's this guy I would watch. I started watching on YouTube called EDP 445.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say what it stands for people. There's probably people who know of this story. Big Eagles fan, always ranting about the Eagles and just getting angry when the Eagles lost. A lot of great over the top rants. To be honest with you, he ended up getting busted for some really bad stuff that I don't want to bring up here. But I was thinking about joking the other day. I'm like, I wonder if he was like a bad omen for the Eagles, and now that he's like gone into the wind, the Eagles are now winning.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe Jalen Hurts was the energy they needed. I mean,
I'll tell you.
I had my issues with Big Game, but he is not terrible. Like, you remember that unbelievable play he did at OU Texas when he's running around, had the ball behind his back, held on. Now, he didn't do anything with the drive, but, still, that dude's talented.
Yeah, he's talented. He led us
and
to...
we were lucky to have him.
Yeah, he led us to a great year that year.
I'm putting my foot again in my mouth being like, I'm sorry I ever criticized Jalen Hurts in my life.
Yeah, one thing, he came to OU, we heard about the work ethic. I think he broke the school record for squatting 1,000 pounds or something crazy. So he's always had the work ethic. What I didn't like about Jalen when he was here was he was always throwing off these Saban-isms. Rat poisoning, and I've been in big games before. This ain't nothing to me, So felt like he was a little Alabama elitist to me. It's why I had a little bit of a taste in my mouth. It's when Britton and I started calling him Big Game. Oh, Big Game. Okay. The first year in the NFL, didn't have a great season, but he showed a little promise. But what I love about him is he found out what he needed to work on, and he worked hard on that this off season. And boy, has he come out strong this year. His passing looks really great. He's running the ball hard.
Dude could be a new Brady or Rodgers, or
I'm not going to go that far.
Maybe not Brady. He could be like a new Rodgers, or who's like some of the better quarterbacks right now.
Yeah, I'm not ready to go that far with Big Game, but what I am going to say
he has
is
potential.
He's going to have a good 4 or 5 year career. That's what I'm saying. I think he might outlast Baker. Baker is looking pitiful this year.
Oh my God!
And I don't know if it's the offense.
I love Baker.
Yeah, I love Baker.
I totally forgot to. When you asked me, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you asked me a few weeks back who was one of my favorite players. My dumbass forgot Adrian Peterson.
Right, of course. Adrian's
he was one of my
favorites. All day. He can run it all day, baby.
I mean, I lost a lot of respect for him after that whole debacle he got into a few years ago, but man, one of my favorite players growing up for OU.
Yeah, definitely. I love Adrian. And he got knocked out by Le'Veon Bell in a boxing match. Now, Le'Veon Bell's an actual boxer. He's like taking up the trade, but he did actually put all day down on that on the boxing.
I think I heard about that.
Saw that on YouTube, but yeah, Baker's looking a little pitiful this year, and this I hate to say this might be his last year in the league. I don't know who's going to pick him up.
I don't think Baker. That's the thing. I don't think Baker's terrible.
Yeah,
but I was nervous that the Browns were going to ruin him because Browns be Browning. But lo and behold, I guess he was the guy they needed at the point because he helped bring him back to relevance.
He dragged him out of the cellar for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
and they also got guys like Chubb who are actually really good.
Yeah, Chubb's great. Their defense is good.
And then he's like, I don't know if it was the Browns' fault or if it was Baker just like, I want to go play somewhere else.
Yeah, well, then nobody picks him up in the offseason. It was the big contract, I think, had something to do with it. I think he might be able to get a backup contract and stay in the league, but his days as a starter, I'm not sure. Now, Carolina picked him up. They had Sam Darnold as their starting quarterback, so yeah, I can see why they picked up Baker. I mean, that's like having Davis Bevel as your starting quarterback in the NFL, having Sam Darnold. So, but I'm a little worried about Baker's career here. Then obviously Kyler's doing well, but really Big Game is kind of leading the way for OU quarterbacks. And do we call him an OU quarterback? Or does Alabama claim him?
I think it's kind of both.
Yeah, he played 3 years at Alabama.
He was the starter at OU for the last year.
Yeah, we'll take a little bit of credit, but I'm glad to see him doing well.
I kind of had the feeling that Lincoln was just like, look, man, do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, again, he was lucky to have Lincoln Riley too. I mean, we talk smack about him on here, but dude's really great with offense.
Yeah. Seems like Brady's struggling a little bit this year. Maybe
I think
he's just catching up with him. I think
it's finally he's getting old, man.
Yeah.
And I said that a couple times, and then he comes right back because he's Tom Brady. that man is not human.
Yeah. He is 45. He's going through a divorce. Maybe that's affecting him. Or I don't know. Maybe he's not going through a divorce. I'm seeing, rumors. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But he's not looking Tom Brady-ish yet this year.
I would have stayed retired if I were him.
And the Bengals didn't look half-assed. I saw Samaje getting a lot of playing time. Obviously, Mixon's there as well. So the old teammates of Mixon and Samaje as running backs. They've got Joe Burrow, who blistered us.
Oh, man.
I
would feel salty about it, but I'm kind of rooting for Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I'm a little salty he blasted us, but you know what? He seems like a good guy.
Right.
And, I think he has potential to be really good.
Yeah, they've got the great wide receiver that played with him, I believe, in college. So they've got a pretty good nucleus, and I could see them making their way back, into the playoffs for sure.
I was surprised they got into the Super Bowl at all last year.
Yeah, they got to go through Mahomes again this year. And, of course, Kansas City, still kind of Kansas City, looking pretty tough.
They didn't start, great last year, but they came back in force, and they've been back in that force ever since.
And then another team that I'm not sure if you're paying much attention to these guys, Britt, but the Jets walloped the Dolphins last year. And the Jets, I think, are having a winning season right now.
Really?
So,
the Jets?
The Jets.
I know they beat Pittsburgh. I watched this guy called Urinating Tree, who inspired the name of this show, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he was livid about that, but Pittsburgh's been Pittsburgh for a long time, so.
Yeah, the Jets are actually 3-2 this year, and they've got the Packers this week. So I guess we'll find out if they're really.
Packers been looking suspect.
Yeah, they're 3-2 also. So
they lost to the Giants.
Yeah, and you know what, Ryan, or what.
When was the last time they were relevant? The Jets, when Rex Ryan was with them?
I can't even remember when they were relevant. Maybe Mark Sanchez might have been his first year. I don't know. But as Rodgers likes to say about the Packers, relax. He usually gets them back there.
I've heard Rodgers is kind of a dick.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not sure about that, but big game this week is the Bills versus the Chiefs.
Oh, I was about to say, Bills are looking dangerous.
Yeah,
I have a friend named Josh, and who's, he's Canadian, but he surprised me. He's a big football guy, well, maybe not big football guy, but he follows the sport, and he knows well enough about it. And he called that the Bills would win the Super Bowl this year. Which, I'd like to see that as a sort of poetic, justice after their 4 in a row. Just...
That's like saying OSU's going to win the Big 12.
Oh, my God.
It just hasn't happened. I'd have to see it first.
Yeah, I know. But they're not looking terrible.
Yeah. And then the Sunday night game will be one that I'll be definitely watching, which is the Cowboys versus the Eagles. So big game versus the up-and-coming Cowboys, which I don't know if Dak's healthy again. He broke his thumb. I don't know if he's healthy just yet, but this backup's looking pretty strong. And I think he's solidified himself, Cooper Rush I'm speaking of, as a long-term backup. I know a lot of teams would like to pick up a backup that you could bring in and win 3 or 4 games while the guy's healing up. So that'll be one I'll be watching. And then Monday Night Football, Broncos have looked sick with Russell Wilson. They have not got it together. I don't know what's going on with them.
Can I just mention the Can I just mention Thursday Night Football last week?
Uh-huh.
What was that game?
Oh my God. Horrific. Russell Wilson was washed up.
just 12-9 in overtime.
Yeah, 12-9 in overtime. It took overtime to get to 12-9. So that was your classic tractor pull of all times. So that was.
I watch a guy. He said that was the drunkest game I have ever seen of a football. I didn't even watch it. I just saw about it. I'm like, oh Lord. I walked in and asked you about it. You're like, it's a tractor pull.
Yeah. Well, luckily, Uncle Lance has Prime, and there's been a lot of fans that have been unhappy that Thursday Night Football is not on the NFL channel anymore. You have to order Prime to get Thursday Night Football. That's ridiculous. And I had it. I would have not purchased the game, but Uncle Lance has that for us, so I was able to watch the game, and it was pitiful.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but that game was horrendous.
Well, the Broncos have got the Chargers on Monday Night Football, so I might have to find something else to do on Monday night.
The Chargers, so. I remember last year, they were they're so close to being really good.
Yeah.
And then they just keep screwing themselves. They got like a really good thing going with Justin Herbert, and then they just keep shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah. I haven't watched them this year, to be honest with you. So
I'm just remembering from last year. I don't know if it's the same thing this year.
Yeah.
But, oh my Lord.
If there's anything like last week, they ought to be able to take care of the Broncos. So.
Arizona is all right.
Arizona, they're okay.
I think Kingsbury's a better coordinator than a coach.
Yeah.
Personally.
Both the teams, they're playing the Seahawks this week. Both teams are 2-3. I don't know much about the Seahawks. They're down. They lost Russell Wilson, obviously. So
Got Geno Smith though.
Yeah. Okay.
For better or for worse.
Yeah. So.
I don't even think I heard of him, or I had heard of him, but I knew of him as like a journeyman type.
Yeah, he was a good college quarterback, but he hasn't done much in the pros. So I think Pete Carroll will be looking for a new quarterback here in the draft coming up. So some good games this week in the NFL.
Ooh.
I'll be watching. I'd like to have a nice, relaxing at home college football and an NFL weekend to keep the football season rolling forward here, even though,
All I can say is, Sooners, please try to salvage this season because I'm sick of losing.
Show some heart, guys. Play with some smarts.
I'm tired of losing.
Play with some smarts.
Yes, that too.
Defensive guys, I keep hearing Venables say there's just one guy, maybe two guys out of position. The other 9 guys did what they were supposed to do. The other 10 guys did what they were supposed to.
I have
All
issues
11
with the
guys.
scheming.
All 11 guys have got to do it right. You don't know if the scheme's right if there's guys that are breaking down. So
that's fair.
So
that's
if there's
fair.
a guy breaking down, and you're playing against a good team, they will expose the one guy that didn't do their job. So hopefully Venables is right. I'm going to have to trust in him, and hopefully they can get it
Venables.
together. I am too. Go Venables. Go Sooners. Let's end this thing, Brett. Booma!
Sooner! Yeah, so this has been yet another week of Days of Us Sooners. Yeah, see you guys later.